Hey there, and welcome back to ClearPath Conversations. I'm Mark Bernardin. In the last episode, we talked about how to prepare for your first EBR without burning out. We covered the timeline, the internal prep work, the stakeholder syncs that you really need to run before the meeting ever gets scheduled. We talked about why preparation is what separates EBRs that drive action from EBRs that waste everyone's time. Today, we're getting into the actual build because you've done the prep work. You've aligned internally. You've confirmed the meeting with the executive stakeholders. Now comes the moment that separates good CSMs from great ones. Building the actual deck. And here's the thing that the most people get wrong. They think the deck is a presentation. It's not. It's a conversation guide. The slides are there to keep you on track, to give the executive something to anchor to, and also to make sure that you don't forget the most important thing that you need to say. But the real work, that happens in the space between the slides, in the questions that you ask, in how you respond when they push back, in whether you sound like someone who understands their business or someone reading from a script. So in this episode, we're breaking down the 6-slide EBR framework that I teach in the Executive Business Review Playbook. This is the same structure that I've used with customers like Lowe, Ernst Young, Accenture, dozens of others. It works because it's built around what executives, it's what they really care about, not what we think they should care about. We're going to walk through each slide, what it needs to accomplish, and how to deliver it without losing the room. And if you stick around till the end, I'll tell you the one slide that most people screw up completely, and also how to fix it. Let me start with the most important thing that you need to understand about EBR decks. Most of them fail before the meeting even starts. And they fail for the same reason. They're built around what the CSM wants to say, not what the executive wants to hear or needs to hear. I see it all the time. 25 slides packed with usage metrics, support ticket summaries, product roadmap updates, and a vague "thank you for being a customer" type closer. No strategic alignment, no business outcomes, no clear path forward. Just a status dump disguised as a review. Executives don't remember what you show them. They remember what it meant. So if your deck doesn't answer the 5 questions they're already asking themselves, you've already lost them. Those 5 questions are: do you understand our business? What outcomes have you helped us achieve? Where are we at risk or missing some value? What's the plan to improve or grow? And what do you need from me? If your deck doesn't answer those questions, you're wasting everyone's time. So let's build a deck that actually works. 6 slides, each one with a clear job to do. Slide 1, strategic alignment recap. This is where you prove that you've been listening. You're showing the executive that you understand the current business priorities and how your platform supports those goals. If you've done your discovery work, you should have quotes from previous conversations. Use them. Not in a cheesy, look what you said kind of way, but as proof that you're aligned. Here's what this might sound like in the room. We understand your priority this quarter is reducing vendor sprawl and driving more ROI per tool. This review is structured to reflect that. 1 or 2 sentences. That's it. Then you move on. The mistake most CSMs make here is turning a slide into a bio. Here's who we are and what we do. The executive already knows who you are. They want to know that you know who they are. Slide 2 is outcomes delivered. This is where you connect your work to their results. Not your features, not your platform capabilities, their measurable business outcomes. You're answering the question, what did we accomplish together? This slide should include 2 to 3 specific outcomes tied to metrics that they care about. Not vanity metrics like logins or support ticket response times, real metrics. Time saved, risk reduced, revenue protected. And here's the key. You need to tie those outcomes back to their priorities. If they told you in the discovery call that compliance was their biggest concern and you helped them pass an audit with 0 findings, that's your lead. If they're worried about team efficiency and your platform cut their manual work in half, again, that's what you lead with. This is also where you can use a customer quote if you have one. Not from yourself, from them. Your security team told us that this saved them 40 hours a month. That's gold, because now it's not you claiming value, it's them validating that value. The mistake here is just listing everything you did. You're not building out a resume, you're building a case for why this partnership matters. Slide 3 is current state and gaps. This is the honesty slide where you show what's working, what's not, and where they're leaving value on the table. Most CSMs skip this slide entirely because they're afraid of looking bad. But executives respect transparency. They know that nothing's perfect. What they can't stand is being blindsided. So you show them the gaps, not in a here's what you're doing wrong kind of way, but in a here's where we see opportunity way. Maybe they've got 3 departments using the platform, but 2 others aren't onboarded yet. Maybe adoption is strong in one region, but weak in another. Maybe there's a feature they're paying for but not using. Now, this slide does 2 things. First, it builds trust. You're not hiding problems. You're naming them. Second, it sets up the next slide where you're going to tell them how to fix it. Here's what it might sound like. Adoption in your finance team is at 90%, which is excellent, but we've noticed how your operations team hasn't started their onboarding yet. That's a missed opportunity because based on their workflows, we think they'd see similar results to finance within the first 60 or so days. You're not accusing them of anything. You're giving them a roadmap. Slide 4 is the success plan and next steps. This is where you move from observation to action. You're telling them exactly what needs to happen next, who needs to do it, and when. This slide should have 3 to 5 initiatives, not 20, not a wish list, 3 to 5 clear, achievable actions that'll close the gaps that you just identified. And every initiative needs an owner and a timeline. Not we'll work on this, but I'll coordinate with your ops lead by the end of the month to schedule the kickoff. The best success plans also include mutual accountability. It's not just what you're going to do, it's what they need to do. Because if they don't hold up their end, the plan's going to fail. And you need to say that out loud. Here's the language. Here's what we're committing to, and here's what we need from your team to make this successful. That's partnership, not vendor-customer. Partnership. Slide 5 is the optional expansion or roadmap slide. This slide is optional because this slide only works. It only works if you've earned it. If you've nailed slides 1 through 4 and the executive is just nodding along, then you can introduce what's next. New features that align with their priorities, expansion of opportunities in other departments, maybe strategic initiatives on your roadmap that solve some problems that they've mentioned. But if you haven't earned trust yet, this slide, it feels like a sales pitch. So you have to read the room. If they're engaged, go for it. If they're checked out, skip it and move on to close. And when you do present this slide, keep it tied to their goals. Not, here's what's coming, but based on what you've told us about expanding into EMEA, here's how our upcoming compliance features are going to support that. Now, slide 6 is the recap and the commitments slide. This one's your closer, and it needs to do 3 things. First, summarize what you covered. Next, confirm the action items and the owners, and also set the date for your next check-in. Do not end with any questions. That's passive. You're the one leading this meeting. You are owning the room. You end with clarity. Here's what that sounds like. Just to recap, we've aligned on 3 priorities for this quarter: onboarding your ops team, increasing adoption in the Midwest region, and preparing for your audit in Q2. I will follow up with next steps by Friday, and we will regroup in 90 days to review the progress. Sound good? And then you pause. Let them respond. Lock in the next meeting before you leave the room. The mistake that most CSMs make here is treating the recap slide like an afterthought. But this is the slide they'll remember. This is what gets forwarded to their team. This is what shows up in their notes after the meeting, so make it count. Now, let me tell you the one slide that most people screw up completely. It's number 2, outcomes delivered. Because most CSMs confuse activity with outcomes. They show usage stats. They show feature adoption. They show how many support tickets got resolved. None of that is an outcome. An outcome is a business result. Time saved, money saved, risk reduced, revenue generated, compliance achieved, efficiency gained. If you can't tie your work to one of those, you're not delivering an outcome. You're delivering a service. And services are replaceable. Outcomes are not. So before you build your deck, sit down and ask yourself, what business results did we help this customer achieve? If you can't easily answer that in one sentence, you're not ready for the EBR yet. Here's the truth. The slides don't matter as much as you think they do. What matters is whether you walk into that room sounding like someone who understands their business, whether you can connect your work to their goals, whether you can have a real conversation and not just click through a deck. The slides are there to keep you honest, to make sure you don't forget the important stuff, to give the executive something to hold on to and forward after you leave. But the real work happens between the slides, in how you listen, in how you respond to questions, in whether you sound confident or desperate. So build the deck, follow the framework, but don't hide behind it. Show up, lead the conversation, and prove that you're not just another vendor checking a box. You're a partner who's invested in their success. In the next episode, we're going to talk about how to present this deck, how to own the room, how to handle pushback, how to sound confident even when you're nervous. Because building the deck is one thing. Delivering it, that's another. And until then, if you want the full slide templates and a breakdown of what goes on in each one, head on over to clearpathcx.com. I've got the full EBR toolkit there, including example decks, prep checklists, and follow-up templates. And if you're working on your first EBR or trying to level up your existing process, shoot me a message on LinkedIn. I read every one, and I'm always happy to talk through what's working and what's not. So thank you for being here. Thank you for doing this work. And thank you for showing up and delivering every single day. I'll talk to you soon.